What's up, everyone? This is Bacon, and today we're doing a wish list video. I like to do these every month or two just to kind of update it as new characters come out, see if things change a little bit. And per usual, I will give an additional one or two characters that I think are worth going for outside of the wish list. So I'm going to go through all five of these, or all five heroes per faction, but then I'll offer a few that I think are good to go once you have someone who's maxed out and you don't really need them anymore. So let's go ahead and jump into the light bearers. We got Rosalina. I always get those mixed up. I don't know. Sanja, Rowan, Gwyneth, and Belinda. These, I think, are the five that you should be going for. Because if you are a new player, these should be the ones you're popping in there. You got Rosalina, who's great with Belinda, and also can be really well with Gwyneth and a few other heroes in the game that really rely on using their ultimates. Sanja is a really nice kind of tanky frontliner, and she can carry you pretty well early game. I feel like when I first started playing companions, literally everyone had Sanja, and I didn't build her, and I was like so jealous because everyone was just cruising through stuff. Rowan, you get a few copies of for free, and he's just a good support hero to have. A lot of energy restoration, some healing in his kit, stuff like that. Gwyneth is someone who is a very strong hero, but takes a little bit of time to really shine. You need to build her out a little bit. And once you build her out, she's really going to do some good damage. But she is one of the few heroes that is kind of like really good into late game. Like she just gets like better and better and more valuable, I feel like. Whereas like you can kind of ride Belinda a little bit and use her for different things. She's really good with Rosalina in like some boss scenarios where you're just cranking her ult over and over again. But Gwyneth is someone who just something about her. She's just really good with campaign and towers and all sorts of areas. As you kind of build her up to like max build, pretty much, she can really pop off. Now, if we're gonna look at a few other heroes to consider, I would say Scarlet is someone that you could probably swap with Belinda. Scarlet does take a lot of investment to get like her really strong, so keep that in mind. Where I think Belinda doesn't quite need as much investment to really do more damage in the areas she's really good at. But Scarlet, I think, is someone who is just is a great hero. It just takes some investment. Thane is another one who is pretty good. You really need to he's really good pretty much in boss scenarios. Dream Realm and Guild Boss, he can be really good. He can do really high damage in certain scenarios. And if you build him up some, he'll just kind of do even more damage. He can do billions of damage, and it's kind of nutty. A few others: Strilda, a good hero, tanky, kind of disruptive, and then Lucius. Forgot his name. Lucius is also pretty good hero. If you need someone who kind of gives your team some sustain and survivability. Rain is a notable mention where you can get some value out of her with just a few copies. You don't need to fully build her out. While you can build her out fully to get more value out of her, you can use her early on as someone good against like Guild Boss and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and look at the Mauler faction. First, we have Crassio. Crassio is a hero that I was kind of unsure of when I first started companions, but he's can do some damage. He's good in a lot of different areas. Slaki, is that Slaki? Let's check. Nice. Slaki is a good support hero, good for maulers overall, really nice to have. Chicken Man is some good damage, some good CC, can kind of be utilized in a few different areas. Screg. Yeah, Screg is a good tanky boy who can also be valuable in, I believe, Dream Realm. He's kind of unique in a few different areas, and maybe even Guild Boss, which is kind of surprising. But for him, he can hold some value in those areas. And then last we have Kryn. Kryn is more of a PvP style hero, so he's not going to be someone who's going to be pushing you really far in campaign. You could probably put him in the Mauler Tower and it'd be fine. But he's a nice, if you're wanting to kind of have a Mauler PvP comp, you're going to want Kryn in a lot of those builds. Noticeable mentions, Nasta can be valuable in some PvP scenarios, some Dream Realm scenarios. Work is someone who you don't really need to build out. Just get 1 or 2 copies of him, and he is good to go, especially for Dream Realm, Guild Boss, stuff like that. And then Brutus. Brutus is someone where you just need 1 copy of him. I have maxed out because I fully invested in him when I first started playing the game. But Brutus, you just need 1 copy to get that invincibility, and that's really all you need him for. Can be really nice for Forked Fates, kind of like Taylene, where she doesn't die, and so it doesn't count towards your counter. Brutus doesn't die quickly because of his invincibility, so he can last a little bit longer. And I guess the last one I'm going to mention is Numasu. He's a good healer, sustain champ. He's kind of not my favorite hero in the game, but I mean, look at him. He's just kind of dorky looking. But he has sustain to the Mauler faction, which can be really nice. Next are the Wilders. And Wilders, just overall the best faction in the game still. Regardless of Awakened Brutus being in the game, they're just so good. Trisha, whatever her name is, probably the best hero in the game. Top 3 for sure. She might even be better than all Awakened heroes. She's just a monster. She's a beast. She just cranks out damage. Good in every part of the game. Mishka, kind of in a similar boat. Very valuable in every part of the game. Tassie is more of a PvP campaign tower hero. Not good with like boss stuff at all. But those other areas, she can be very valuable. Leica is kind of a good overall hero as well. And then Navanthi kind of has her niches. Some PvP comps she can be really valuable with. With pushing, she just offers a lot of healing, so that can be nice. But Navanthi is just a good hero too. So looking at a few noticeable others, I would say Oku is one that I would really recommend. He can be valuable in a few different areas like PvP, Dream Realm, stuff like that. He's also just a cool buff guy. Like, who doesn't want a big buff guy with horns? Look at that. Raku is also pretty valuable. He, I don't think is necessary. I don't have him built out just because I haven't gotten very many copies of him, but he's a hero that I think is a little above average, like a little above average. He's not like excelling or going crazy in anything, but he can be really valuable in PvP and a few other smaller areas. And I guess, I mean, there's a few others I can mention, but besides them, I think those are like your solid peeps. And then last we'll do Graveborn. Graveborn Mira, by far the best Graveborn in the game, in my opinion. She just is a cool hero. I like Mira a lot, also because she is a new hero like altogether to companions. She's not an old hero from Classic. She's a completely new hero, which is really cool to see outside of Dimensionals because there's really no other heroes like that in the game. But Mira, great in most parts of the game. Damon is someone who, if you build him out early, he can really carry you, but then kind of, he doesn't fall off, but he just kind of becomes average as you get to mid to late game. But is a good Graveborn hero nonetheless. Silas is the best healer support hero in Graveborns and one of the best in the game, honestly. Silas is a really good hero that I think gets overlooked and undervalued a lot. Shamira, everyone really loved her when Companion first came out, but I feel like she kind of lost some of her excitement. I think people really wanted her to be really good, and she is solid in a few other areas, but I think with Mira and Damon and just other heroes up here that are better than her, she just doesn't have that value as much outside of maybe the tower in like some Dream Realms. And then last, Hodgkin. Hodgkin is a kind of, you can plug him in a lot of areas if you build him out. He's not someone who's like he's the best Graveborn Tower character in the game. He's just kind of like a good hero. Like, he's overall good. I like Hodgkin a lot, actually. You see, I have him at 5 stars, but he's a good hero. He's not going to hurt your lineup if you get him. Some noticeables. Obviously, Nara, you just need one copy of her for her hook ability. Can be really helpful in campaign, towers, etc. Gretzel is a strong Graveborn. I think he can be pretty good in a few PvP comps. Maybe some Dream Realms here and there. Sprinkle him in campaign and towers. Not a bad hero, but he does require a good amount of investment to do some good damage. And so he's not someone that you really just want to throw in with no investment in. And then Frail's just kind of a plug-in when you can type of hero. Decent hero, not horrible. You can see I have Thorin. Thorin kind of lost some of his magic and companions, but his kind of like a Brutus version of Brutus that just gives your team a little more time and doesn't die. Can be good in Forked Fate as well. And then last, Isabella has a niche in Dream Realm, and then Desira has some value actually in the Graveborn Tower. So I think those two are also some solid choices for other heroes to go for once you build out. But outside that, I mean, Tresnor also has some value in PvP, maybe some towers. There's really only like one hero that's just like in Graveborn that's just hot garbage, and that is Theowen, which is very unfortunate because I think her kit idea is pretty cool and unique, but she's just hot garbage. Don't build her out. But surprisingly, all heroes in Graveborn are valuable in some degree, which I think Graveborn doesn't have a lot of people who are like top tier, which kind of holds them back. But they do have a good, solid, like middle or slightly above average heroes. So that's my wish list recommendations. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys who are just starting this game, or people who just need a little refresher or need to change out their wish list a little bit. I think, you can't summon Celestials or Hypogenes, so I'm not going to do a wish list here. But if you're thinking of doing like who to summon for Celestials or Hypogenes, I would say Taleine's probably the best Celestial. Make sure you get a copy of the twins. They can be beneficial with 1 or 2 copies. Audrey can also be pretty valuable with just 1 or 2 copies. Same as Flora, whatever her name is. The rest probably not worth building out. And then here I would say her, forgot her name, and then Mortis. Is his name Mortis? Are the two. Mortis you don't really need, if you just need a few copies to get some good value out of him. Same with both of these, just need a few copies. So if you're gonna pull for just a copy or 2 of these heroes, that's fine. The only one that I think is pretty valuable when you build them out would be Taleine, which is why I'm keeping her in my thing until I get enough to get her basically maxed out. Getting close. It's been a really long time. Stargazing is not my favorite, but that's today's video. Hope you guys are doing well, getting some good progression in your campaign, towers, and all sorts of areas. Don't forget about Forked Fate, because I often forget about it, and it just kind of sits there. Forked Fate. I did not click on that. I don't know. I don't want that. What? Okay. Anyway, make sure you do your Forked Fate. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.